You know where he was yesterday? He was there at BC Place Stadium as Canada won its first ever World Cup soccer match. History was made, and Steve was there to see it, and he's on the line with us right now. Steve, what of all the games you could have gone to in Vancouver, I think you picked the right one.
I think I did too. That was a good intro. Nicely done.
You kind of won the lottery, Steve.
I think so.
Yeah, I kind of did.
That is crazy. I think everybody's first question is just this: what was it like to be in the stadium? We were talking earlier about how the decibel rating, the noise rating, was louder than a jet engine at sometimes in that audience. They were saying. So, what was it like to be in that room?
It was so. I never used to get emotional about sports. Like, I do get more emotional when Canada plays than anything. Doesn't matter what sport it's in and that. But as I've grown older, I was almost crying when they scored the first goal.
Oh, wow.
The joy in that building, the joy I saw in those players' faces, the effort I know that went into that as a sports fan of building a program that's competitive, all that thing manifested. It's so hard for Canada to score goals usually. Remember the last World Cup, we had a real problem with this. Like, we celebrated one goal in a tournament, I think it was.
Yeah.
And to see one go on in home soil before my very eyes and the whole crowd erupting, I almost started crying.
Wow.
Were there people around you crying too?
No, there was a lot of high fives. I don't think everybody's as emotional as Steve, but
yeah. Oh, that's amazing.
It was like I'll never forget rising in unison to our feet because the whole crowd came out of their seat. It wasn't, like everybody was up and cheering. It was very, sometimes in certain sports stadiums across this country, the home team scores and we give them polite applause. Mm-hmm. This was incredible. It was just
off the hook.
It was very different, very, very different than most pedestrian events.
So I'll just say it. Those are the highs. Then there was the low. Then there was the broken leg, which is what it turned out to be, although it took a little while for us to kind of clue into the fact that it was a serious injury to Canadian midfielder Ishmael Kone. What was it like in the stadium at that time when everybody was trying to figure it out?
At first, the ref thought he was diving. Because the ref didn't react right away. And then because you're so where I was sitting, like I didn't have eyes on it. And I didn't know what was going on, but I knew he wasn't faking. And when I knew there was a problem was when Estacio got close to him and called the bench, like, get here now. Which is always a horrible thing in sports because the players know when a player is really hurt. They know. And then it went silent because we're all sitting there. And I think he did a very key thing. As much as he's injured and everything else, he consoled some of his teammates. Then when he was, being carted off, he waved at the crowd. And we could all see this hand come up from the stretcher. And I just think that put the entire situation on more of an ease because, yes, he's a very key loss and everything, but we just wanted to make sure he was okay. And when he did that wave, it changed the atmosphere from the dead silence of the last 2 or 3 minutes to something, well, yes, we're upset. Yes, we're angry, but he waved at us.
So, did you stay overnight? You just came home, right?
I was very proud of myself. I made it from the game. I left the game at about 5:10, and I was on the 7:00 ferry.
Okay.
That's impressive.
But what was the mood like in the city immediately afterwards? Like, what did you feel on the streets?
It was there was energy on the streets way before the game, so it just continued on. And, it started for me on the bus that goes from the ferry to Bridgeport Station. They were doing Canada chants on the bus.
That's cool.
And it was individualized for certain players. And that continued actually in the game. Like, Richie, Lorray, Richie.
So everybody's just giving all the players chance. That was the atmosphere. That's amazing. Hey, Steve, real quick, I have a question here, which I don't have the answer for, from a texter at 71010. So just real quick. Hey, Ryan, if Steve has time this morning, can he explain why it wasn't a penalty shot when Qatar got their first red card in the box? That's from Ronnie, our listener. So, Steve, what's the answer there? Do you know?
So, Ronnie, what they ruled was that the foul occurred before the box. So, in other words, he brought him down on purpose, but because he was going to receive a yellow card for doing that. But because they ruled he was out of the box, then he basically foiled a good scoring chance on purpose outside the box, and that's a red card.
Okay.
So the ruling was that when they did the VAR that he wasn't quite, and we're talking like centimeters from the box. That's what they ruled.
And I guess it was confusing, too, because they ended up in the box, but the infraction started outside the box, even though they kind of traveled into it afterwards. Is that
exactly
the reason? Okay.
That's it.
Okay, and
That's
one
what
more question.
Ruled.
Yeah.
I'm going to cut into my newscast time for this question. Was it enlightening in some way, relieving in some way to focus on our patriotism without mentioning the U.S.?
Yeah, we've always had a different patriotism at sports events, and I think it's bolder now. And I will also say it's more pronounced in the West than it is in Central Canada. Like, in that building, there was no negativity. Like, none. Zero. There was no, none of that stuff. Part of that was the way the game played out, but yeah, this was about us. It wasn't about anybody else. It was Canadian, and we're proud of our team, and we're proud of the way they stick together. So a lot of us have, been around too long, but the younger generation here knows these guys. Like, I had Gretzky posters. They have Kone posters. Like, they've grown up with it too. So it spans generations better, this team, than most teams will.
There he is, sports guy Steve, or should we call him soccer guy Steve? He was there at BC Place Stadium yesterday as Canada defeated Qatar 6-0, our very first World Cup win ever, and it happened on home soil. It happened on BC soil in Vancouver. Steve, thank you so much for sharing your stories.
Always a pleasure. Take
Thanks,
care.
Steve.